real strong with our marks. Colored pencils are. Now let's define where the nose line is going to be. Your nose is halfway between your eye line and your chin line. Some people's nose goes. His ears actually start slightly. This one starts slightly above the eye line on this side that I see here, because those wrinkles really tell us a lot about the shape of the eye and will help us make decisions on whether or not it's going to translate just fine. Alright, again, I followed the same steps when I drew this eye. I drew the tops part of the eye. Alright, the next thing I'm going to do before I move on to the nose is I'm just going to define the shape of the eyebrow a little bit. I like to do this with some light lines. Those drawings are very rewarding when they come together. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and start defining a little bit of the nose. Alright, now the way we're going to make this nose stick out is by having contrast between darker values that exist on either side of the bridge of the nose. Alright. Now that we've got our nose, very subtle eyes, there we go. And again, now next the bottom lip. Value that's going to happen right here. All right, we'll do the same thing. Just a little bit of information about the lines that are that's happening on the ear back here of what you're looking at, and it should be unique. And it doesn't have to look just like what you're drawing. In fact, it can look completely different. So we're going to be pulling the hair back here with lines when we get to that. Put a little bit of information down here first. Here is typically going to get so we can feel a little bit better about what we've got down here and see how accurate wrinkles are very much similar to what you would find on a sheet, a cloth sheet. Wrinkles are going to behave in a similar fashion. I'll be using brown, red, I'll be using the darker brown, and of course some white. These are the colors that I'm going to use predominantly. I'll also be using this with, that I'm adding color with right now. His eyes are a pretty dark blue, the areas of highlight, and I let some of that white mix with the blue a little bit. Do the same thing over here. And this side actually has some highlight in there, so I'm going to work around those highlighted areas. Alright, now we're ready to start really actually mixing some skin tone here around this bridge of the nose. So go ahead and define a little bit of that, let that fade down, and then right underneath here. Alright, same thing over here. Colors when that happens. Alright, so just a little bit of darker value in here inside the orbital lobe. So that kind of come up here. And we'll go back with the cream here. First thing is to build up colors so that they are heavily applied to the surface. So some people just like, and a little bit on this side as well, not too much. It's definitely harder to make things lighter if you go too dark. Alright. Alright, let's burnish that in, just drawing in 2 sessions. So I think we're actually, when we get the nose to a reasonable stopping place, it's going to be a good place to stop for next week. Color. It's okay to add that color, And if you're not confident about it, if you're not sure about it, just slowly layer that color process, take your time. Now I went ahead and I've grabbed a dark brown, and this guy's got a crease right here in his face, and then there's a little bit of darkness. By layering colors on top of each other, it will appear heavily applied. In fact, it will be heavily applied because we'll have lots of layers that we've put on. We're actually going to work against the illusion of form that we're after. So we'll be real careful there. And then on the other side, it's got a few of these wrinkles that go kind of put down. And what that does is it naturally mixes those colors. It kind of smooths things out a bit, so you have a consistent texture. And again, by just layering these colors, it's going to look a little bit more natural. And I'm lightly applying this red down here. Up to you. Of course, if you're going for representation, you're trying to make it look like what you are seeing these shadows to be a little bit warmer. So I'm going to go ahead and add the blue. Then I'll go back on top of it with a little bit of brown. The tonality of the color of the lips that we see right here. So if we can get a match around here, for those lips, we'll be good to go. So I'm going to go ahead and, like I did with, there we go. All right, now we'll continue to work our colors because we need to add some more. We'll go back to the brown, but it shouldn't because you're making a natural black. And a lot of times shadows are cool anyway, so just like that. And we also want to preserve some of the creases that kind of happen in the corner. So with the above it on the chin, side of the face just a bit. Alright, now there's a lot of contrast that's happening down here at the bottom. We go. And just a little bit over here too. Right along his back here. Just a little bit darker. Make your skin tone a little bit more convincing. Accentuate the wrinkles just a bit further. And then right underneath the flap here, it gets pretty dark. And the same thing over here. And warm things up a bit. Alright, a little bit of blue over here as well. There you go, that's a little bit more of the contrast that we were now. Just put that dark brown right on top of the cream color, and we're going to let it fade outward. Alright, now let's add a little bit of that sienna color to the upper portion of the head, because the upper portion has quite a bit of this. It'll be a little bit longer than an hour. All right, now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add a little bit of highlight with our white. Exaggerate it just a bit. Now to create the kind of contrast that we need to be able to see the eyebrows a little bit. It's a little thinner towards the top of the head, here and there. So I hope you've enjoyed this two-part series. With that, I'm going to go ahead and sign off for this evening. Don't forget to visit thevirtualinstructor.com, where you can find over 200 free videos and tutorials like this one. Or become a member and gain access to over 45 hours of art instruction, including weekly live 1-hour lessons and special video courses like the Secrets to Drawing video course, which teaches you the fundamentals of drawing. To become a member, just visit thevirtualinstructor.com/members and subscribe today.